Hello, I just want to introduce you to what was once called Gooseneck Creek. It was a tributary of the James River, and it ran from where we're standing right now, which would be, I guess, the peak of the Gooseneck, and we're at 28th Street and Perry, also called Fonticello Park, Carter Jones Park. And what we're looking at right now is basically the terrain. If I scroll right here, this is actually the old pump house from the spring. So there were several springs that were here at some point. Some of them have been capped off. Some of them run underneath the ground and the water tables and so on and so forth. So you can kind of see right now as the terrain moves to my right, there is this natural valley, and within that middle of the valley is this pump house in the spring. So what I'm going to do is basically walk you down the Perry Street to show you how this creek ran down into the river. So we're now standing at 27th and Perry. I'm kind of orient you. If we look to our right, you can start to see the hillside go up. If we keep going around, you'll see the basketball court. That was last time on our left, but now on our right. And that, once again, is Fonticello Park. If we look back around, we are standing in the lower part of this section, and you can kind of start to see some storm drains to capture the rain as it comes down the street. Looking up the street, up 27th Street, if we look into these fields to the right, you'll see an undeveloped field. A lot of these fields have been undeveloped along this path, partly because of the rainwater. Always watery, it's always wet. There's a lot of water runoff into this land. So I'm going to basically go down a little bit onto 26th Street and show you the other side of this, where it's very evident where we have a creek bed. Be right. So I'm walking along 26th Street, just poured off of Perry towards McDonough, and wanted to show you to the left right here. You'll see the storm drain, but this is the natural valley creek bed as it once was. And there's fill to the right, fill to the left where this house is, but you can see the natural bed that goes up the side to this house on the right. If I look down a little bit right here, there's a storm drain right above this valley. If I turn around and I look over here to the other side, there's another storm drain, and this driveway, and that's where the creek bed goes on the other side of 26th Street. So we're going to go back up to Perry Street. You'll notice that it inclines a little bit back up the hill, and I'll show you what happens on the other side of this area. So we are standing at the alley of 25th Street and Perry. If you start to make your way down to the right towards 25th, you'll see another lot that's not been developed. Right behind this metal garage is where the creek would have come out. If you look right across from that, you see some brush, some thicket. That's actually a sinkhole. It's been a sinkhole as long as I've been here for the past 10 years. I know that people have been dumping things in there over the years, and it washes away underground. And there are several sinkholes that open up on this land, that have opened up even in the past year, even in the past spring. There's been a sinkhole about 2 feet wide and about 6 feet deep that has opened up down here about 20 feet in from the storm drain to your left. Right behind that tree right there, there's a sinkhole there. You notice that across the street, right where that green can is where the other storm drain is. And so the water system in the creek is now being hooked up. You notice across the street also where that tall grass is, that's where the hill starts to go down once again, and this little lot here where the apartments are, that used to be kind of a swampist land, as according to our neighbors. They've been here most of their lives. Very swampy, very wet, but the creek ran right there, basically right beside that house. So if we look to the right, we start to see how the terrain moves up. And during hard rains, a lot of the water will come right through here, come into this ditch, follow this road, and you can actually see some debris. It's been cleaned up the past couple of days. To the right here, that's where the water will come down and then move across the road to the left. I'll start back up around 24th Street. So we're currently standing at 24th Street in Perry. This is where the development is going across the street. If I were to pan left, you were to see this, there's another storm drain, a good 25 to 30 feet in from the road. We just had as a city to clean that out a couple years ago. So a lot of the water obviously goes through here. The water also, when it rains really hard, it will go across the road into that lot there. We're going to keep going to the left, looking up the hill. All of this has been filled in. Actually, there's only a half of an alleyway right there. The other half has been left alone to grow in. This is the actual road that will be supporting this complex. If you keep looking to the left, it goes uphill. So we have that natural incline that will follow us all the way down. If you were to walk a little further here, like I said, this has all been filled in over the years. You can kind of start to see how the water treats the road over the years. And so when you get down to this section here, you can start to see how the water moves kind of about 11 o'clock there and then cuts back into that lot from the fill-in. Once again, we're looking towards 24th Street and Perry. So now we're kind of heading towards the development side. And right here you can see the natural waterway that's been forming just recently because of the rains. That would have gone into that ditch. Now the thing about that last stormwater that we saw on 24th Street, they're clearing some of the place right now. We saw that's the last of the stormwater drains in this area, all the way down to the trailer park that we'll go to next. But I wanted to just show you at some point right here where there's mounds of dirt, that's actually where what they're calling the ditch, but the stream bed is. One note to make right here on 24th Street, Perry, is we're standing basically on what would have been the creek bed. And if we're looking down, it actually says open pit on the fence. That's where they filled in the creek bed down there recently without any structure. So the water, I think, our rainwater goes directly into that ditch. Goes pan right. This is that open field that hasn't been developed. And that's been the fill-in. Alright, so we're on Sims Avenue looking back over to the construction site. If you try to look really far out there, you can see the little white truck in the distance. That's where the site's happening. That is actually the curve of Gooseneck. And so we're looking at, actually, if you pan right, you can follow that all the way up to Monticello Park, which we just came from. If we were to look left, all of that water empties out into this area here, this valley, where the trailer park is. I've actually seen that trailer park flooded several times the past 10 years. I think one of the most recent ones had 5 to 8 feet of water in that trailer park. Several trailers were moved after that. It's actually, from what I understand, condemned. Nobody should be there. People are. This used to be an open valley that led directly to the James. If I were to go across the street, Sims Avenue, across, you can kind of see Canoe Run Park in the distance, and a grove of trees right there. And that's actually ravine on that side, but Canoe Run Park was also filled in. And in the far distance, on the other hillside, I think that's Hollywood Cemetery that you're looking over to. So the river is right there. So basically this area was a fairly large waterway, just by looking at the actual terrain. And it still is being used. The water is underground from what we know. It does, when it rains, it is used, you can see that flow, but with that development, that is going to change, especially when they're actually putting dirt into that so-called ditch, creek bed, without any structure, without any piping. Basically, they're causing a disaster, if you ask my opinion. So hopefully this will show you that this is actually once a waterway.